Well, hi kids. Have you seen iClone recently? It got like 3 big updates in the last 2 months. I'm trying to catch up. The latest feature to drop is called AccuPOSE. It's so new the manual isn't even out yet for 8.5. I watched Kai's webinar from Reallusion, but I was still confused, and I think other people were too, so I'm making my own review and mini tutorial. Now, I'm not an ambassador for Reallusion. I buy my software, so these are always my honest opinions. AccuPOSE is being called AI-assisted posing. I have no idea what that AI actually means in this context. It's accurate, but AI is such a vague marketing word, and I don't know how or if AccuPOSE relates to all the other technologies that we're currently calling AI. So first, what is it? On the surface, AccuPOSE looks a lot like Cascador, a reliable figure animation software that combines physics with inverse kinematics and some kind of full-body AI-assisted posing. I've never used Cascador, so I can't directly compare. And what we have in iClone is just the AI posing, but without any ragdoll physics. That's something that's weirdly missing from iClone. Now, Reallusion is usually pretty good about their plugins. The free version is basic but fully functional. AccuPOSE has a core model that's free. It's not just a demo sampler, it's a useful posing model with some basic positions like sitting, standing, kneeling, and lying down. There's even a simple 4-step walk cycle. It's all good stuff. You'll need to download AccuPOSE through the Reallusion hub, and updates will also install through the hub. It's a plugin. Now, once it's installed, it appears on the toolbar as an enormous word button that will never go away. Why do you do this, Reallusion? But it's also under the animation menu and on the figure's animation tab, right under the edit motion layer, which feels logical because motion layer is the existing vanilla IK posing tool. Now, if you know the motion layer tool, AccuPOSE is the RoboCop of IK posing. You're dragging a control point on the figure, then you advance the timeline, you adjust the control point on the figure again, you advance the timeline, rinse and repeat. Now, just like motion layers, iClone is creating an animation clip on the timeline. The difference with AccuPOSE is that the whole body moves, so it's just making a huge amount of keyframes every time you do it. Even when the control points are locked, you're going to see wiggle and adjustment across the entire body. Now, once you adjust one IK point, like the wrist, the simulation tries to keep that position. It takes that control point out of the equation, sort of. There's still some motion, but this is also how the vanilla IK tool works. It respects what you've already positioned. And the best way that I can describe what it's doing is there are multiple poses embedded inside each preset. And the figure interpolates between these poses. The arms move, the hips shift, hands and feet position themselves to the floor, but there's no collision involved. It's just interpolating between preset poses. So for example, inside one of the sitting presets, when I tilt the head down, the figure lifted his arm and looked at his watch. It's a very specific pose inside this preset. And I think I understand where it came from because this is an animation on the Reallusion content store. So when I look through the existing categories in the core model, and also just the names of the add-on models in the subscription, these are all trained from Reallusion's own animation library. I'm probably simplifying what's actually happening, but from what I can see, each preset has a small range of movement that it can interpret, basically covering whatever was in that animation. And as long as you keep the figure within these pose limits, you'll get extra body movement that will look natural. But if you pull the figure too far from those embedded poses, everything starts to fall apart. So the trick is to play around inside the preset until you can figure out the useful posing range. It's kind of like deconstructing that animation, but you're free to move from pose to pose at your own timing and in your own order, so no more canned animations. All of this is in the free model, so this is already a win. I can't complain, this is wonderful. Thank you, Reallusion, this is an excellent feature. Also, you just lost money because I had animation packs in my cart and now I don't need them. So even with Reallusion's Coupon Palooza and a 40% discount, the annual AccuPOSE subscription would pay for itself. Because why buy stock animations when each posing model contains variations that all look natural? And I can control the timing. This is a better tool, and it's going to save me money. Now let's talk about the subscription. And generally I'm very skeptical of software subscriptions, especially generative AI subscriptions, because you don't know where they're going to be in 3 to 6 months or how much better the competition will be. In this case, for one, AccuPOSE is not crazy expensive, but it's another AI mouth to feed, so I haven't jumped on this purchase yet. But who's the competition? Like, I'm not going to buy Cascador. I use iClone, so you know, I don't really see a rival coming up and replacing it. So it's not quite the same as a generative AI subscription for a year. Also, I think I read on the website that there's a 20% discount when you renew next year. It's something to consider, I guess. Now, the promo videos show some crazy athletic movement like Spider-Man and a ballet dancer, I don't know, Taekwondo, it's gonna be in the subscription eventually. All of that stuff looks fun, but I'm never gonna use that. But there are really useful models in the subscription too, like a car driving and motorcycle riding. Office people are coming in a few months, military and hand-to-hand combat. If you use these kind of animations, I think you're going to use them a lot, and this is going to be a huge value. Now, it's about 25 models now, but there's a list on the website of models that are scheduled through May, so by summer there should be around 75 models, give or take. I honestly think this is going to be unpopular, but I think that a subscription is a good fit for this. Especially if they keep porting their Actor Core library. An AccuPOSE subscription will be larger and larger over time, and it's going to become more niche over time, like more specialized and better. It's just going to add value and diversity to the content. But this is not actually something that I want to buy outright. Like, I've bought animation catalogs. I don't want to do that anymore. I would rather pay for a tool like this where I can make my animations as I go, drawing from that huge library and not having to buy that whole library for myself. So my AccuPOSE review is excellent. Very happy to stop what I'm doing and make a quick video about this so other people can figure this out and be using it. This is just a huge value that I'm probably going to use every time I open iClone. I'm not going to have to reuse animations for my figures. Instead, I'm going to animate their idle movements and their natural body positions, just sitting, standing. I'll make it fresh every time. So, my advice, can't tell you what to do, but maybe wait a month or two until more of the models are released. You might as well get as much value as you can if you don't need it right now. Wait until the models are included that you actually would use. Or maybe subscribe for just a month when you're animating. It's cheaper than Netflix, and you'll have access to the entire library for the month. So again, I normally would never recommend a subscription, but I honestly think that this is the right choice. I think Reallusion is doing a smart thing. I think this is a good value for everybody, good for them, good for customers. Give it a try. The free version is great too. Even that alone is excellent. So that's all I have time for. So give this video a like if you think it's going to be useful for other people, and subscribe if you want to be notified of my next video. I do intend to cover the other iClone features that just dropped, but I'm going to have to put them in separate videos because each one is kind of its own big thing. So as usual, I hope you had a learn, and I'll see you next time. Bye.